Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Mitch from Notorious Radio 718, and we have a very special guest with us today.
I'm Brayd Bunch. Some people know me as Summer Brady, but my Instagram handle and artist name is Brayd Bunch, BraydBunch, and I'm happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So while we're here, Brayd Bunch has an amazing fight coming October 15th at the Showboat Arena for celebrity boxing, and she's fighting for a really big belt, the non-binary belt, correct?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So tell us a little bit about your opponent.
All right, so my opponent is this actor, I guess you would call it, or I guess he would try to call himself a D-list actor, I would say. Mike Mazza. He's a wannabe boxer. I know he's trained in martial arts, and he's got a big mouth on him. And what I'll give him is this: I think it takes some balls to step up into this historic non-binary division match, right? Where uh, we could talk about in a bit, like a little bit more about what makes this so special. But what I'll say is this: I know I'm gonna win. I'm gonna bring the hype. I've been training hard, and
What we want to know is also where you're training out of. Did you have a little bit of a martial arts or boxing background prior? So tell us a little about that, how you got in and how this fight came to be.
all right. So like, the whole story is a little crazy, I'd say, but I feel very blessed. Um, so yes, when I was younger, uh, I trained in martial arts. I competed in some sports, and I fell in love with it. Um, I tried a little bit of everything when I was younger, um, and I would say that some of them were the flashier of the arts. I would say what I liked about my father was he kind of like let me try everything to see like.
So, like, which sports? Can you be a little more particular?
So I would say that I was a wrestler.
Okay.
So I have a wrestling background, and
So tell me, junior high, high school, college.
yeah, so I would say that I started wrestling probably slightly before. I'd say back then, like now that the area I grew up in, kids are starting much younger.
Okay.
But I would start early middle school. And I grew up in the Huntington area, and I don't know if you know anything about wrestling, but like uh, that area has produced a lot of like powerhouses, um, and people who have gone on to do pretty high achievements, whether it's in the Olympics or the national level. So I was fortunate enough to be trained by uh, people who come from like a background of like wrestlers.
They had state champions,
Yeah,
professionals.
yes. So like in particular, like there was the Giannis from the Huntington area.
Okay.
And I would say like so for example, we all wrestled like a lot of state champions. Sorry, I'm blabbering on.
No, no, it's all right. It's cool.
Uh, and I would say that I've never won first in a big tournament. I placed, and it's something that I wish I stuck with. I kept doing, but I stopped in college, and that's where I actually tried to stick to. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Martial arts a little.
I got you.
Um,
But the way I see it is
yeah.
that, like, all of this led up to this moment,
Yes.
you know? So it's like you got to wrestle, then you transition to martial arts, and right now you get to actually put on the gloves. So what I want to ask you about the celebrity boxing,
Yes.
are you guys wearing headgear? Is it, like, what do you know? Do you know, is it going to be just a straight, like, how many rounds, for example?
Notorious. The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! Notorious!
It's a 1 minute.
1 minute round for 3 rounds.
It's a 1 minute round for 3 rounds. Yes. And so what I would say is this: if you've seen Mike Mazza, my opponent,
Yes,
like
I
he's got
researched him.
he's way past his prime, right?
Yeah.
So I know he's got a bit of a, you know,
What
maybe he has a baby on the way.
what I want to
Uh,
ask you, is this fight any like weight? Like, is there like some kind of
so we
parameters
have to
for the
meet. We have to meet. Both of us have to weigh in at 165 at our weigh-ins.
so I just want to ask you,
Yeah,
because Mike Mazza looks way over 165.
yeah.
What I want to ask you, if he doesn't make weight, you're gonna get more of the purse?
Yeah, no, no. But I better get more of the purse,
No, that's
right?
what I'm saying. You
Yes,
have to get more
yes,
money. If
that's
the
what I'm
fighter
saying.
doesn't make weight, and
Yeah,
this is a celebrity match,
this is
that's the agreement.
I would have to bring this up to fucking Damon. I think Damon would definitely make that happen, right? But I know Mike Mazza is gonna make weight because you know what? I think he's one of those people where most of the weight he's carrying is in the belly, right? It's a little deceiving.
So you're saying he's making weight? You know that's happening.
I know he's making weight. I'm actually yeah, I'm excited for that. And part of this story is I moved up in weight. So when I first heard about this fight, I was probably closer to like 150.
Okay.
I was on like the keto diet. So like what I would say is like part of my story was I always was pretty strong. I had stayed very fit. And when the fight was announced, I was originally supposed to fight other trans opponents, right?
Okay.
So
Were you
like,
supposed to fight Caitlyn Jenner?
so Caitlyn Jenner, that's m- a little bit later in history, but where Caitlyn Jenner first came into my life, she was actually supposed to be, I think, the special guest referee for my fight. Uh, which I was really excited about. I was like, yo,
That'd be
Caitlyn Jenner is gonna be
that'd
there,
be ref
and
in the
I'm gonna
fight.
beat another non-binary or trans person's ass in like boxing, right? So I was like, yo, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna train hard, right? So part of my story is I suddenly had a like clear schedule in life. So I hit the gym 6 days a week, and every opponent they were fighting me weighed like a good fucking 10, 15 pounds more than me. So imagine like all these influencers, celebrities, right? Sat down at the table and then they would all back out, right? And I gained all this weight. Like I'm taking creatine. I was like, yeah, I got meal preps, right? Like
Are you using a
literally.
company? Any special company?
So it's really funny. I'm gonna get yeah. I'm all over the place, but I'm happy.
No,
It's flowing now. All right. I have ADHD, by the way.
that's cool. That's
Uh,
cool.
so imagine I have these sports companies coming, like literally hitting me up, offering me these deals, right? Where they want me to like push products for them, either as a sponsor or an affiliate, right? So part of the story is I I swear. I was about to like I was on the phone with this dude. He sold me. He was like, "Yo, you're gonna represent our products." I'm like, "Yo, it's like the perfect thing." And then I end up going to this New York Fit Fest that I was invited to. So I go to this place with like it's this giant festival in Long Beach, and there's all these supplement brands, and all these people are sitting there, like telling me like I mentioned to them, right? How I was on the phone with this one company, and suddenly all of them were like, "Oh, don't sign something yet." Da 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 da. Da. So I'm all over the place. I might be representing a pretty big brand soon, right? Which
That's
I'm
good.
excited about.
That's awesome.
And I would say a lot of this story is like, yes, supplementation and diet, right? Like I've become addicted to like cardio.
Okay.
Like I have fallen in love with the training. So I think you asked me like where am I training out of
Yeah.
now,
Yes.
right? So let me bring like that's the cool story, right? So imagine like part of this story is like uh in college, I knew where I was going. I'm clearly non-binary. I'm trans. I kind of don't feel like I want to fit in anyone's box in a way. Uh I use they them pronouns. I know some people's heads are probably exploding just for that, right? I kind of use rolling pronouns. So in a way, I use she and her too, which is like, um, for some people might be a little confusing, right? Uh, but to go back, I thought there was no place in this world for someone like me, right? Of sports, of like, because that's
Okay.
like the message with everyone. like told me. And I'd say like I kind of lost my way for like the passions of certain things I love.
Sports means a lot to you.
Yes,
This whole
right?
story, what I'm understanding is
Yeah,
that like everything started with sports.
yes.
Like when sports is in your life, you feel the most focused.
Yes, like I was a big soccer player. Like I like was like I loved it, right? And so something was missing. So with this training, getting back in shape, I'm making all these connections. In a way, I'm in like the best shape of my life. And so there's Mike Mazza. I'll give him this. He's like stepping up. It's like gonna be, I guess, 3 1-minute rounds. I know with my cardio, my training, because where I've been training out of, I'll get to in a sec. Like, I I know he's
You're knocking
scared.
him out. Just
You know what? I'm going for the knockout, right?
Good,
Some people have
good.
told me like to go easy on him, right? But I know with this fight, here's the thing. I know with this fight thing, I know he's so scared to lose. I know he's got this new girlfriend there, right? I know he doesn't want to be embarrassed by the non-binary ninja. That's what I've been calling myself, right? But guess what? I literally have said he's gonna be my first sacrifice, right? But I want the world to see after this, like, and we could get to this. There's other fights that like I'm technically training for down the line that I hope the world will start to look at me as like a kind of legitimate athlete in this world of combat sports. Uh Going back to where I'm training out of for this fight, there is this place called KO Boxing where I spent a good amount of time. Um, it's out on Long Island. The I, I don't want to. I really appreciated my time there, right?
okay.
Uh, but I would say that the man who ran it, he was a former kickboxing champion, but it was a boxing school. And he meant well, but like there wasn't that.
Connection.
Yes, right.
No, that's so important.
So important.
So important. The trainer and the the athlete, the fighter, that they have a very good connection to go forward, or else it's almost impossible
Yes.
to actually get into the ring together because both people have to trust each other and understand. I understand it. If you had to walk away from a certain trainer, there's nothing to be worried about that.
Yeah, and so part of it is I think maybe he's old school, right? He meant well, like, but also too like uh some people. I used to be a high school teacher. I know some teachers are horrible teachers. They should never be teaching. Some people are former champions, and as a teacher, you can only reach so many people. I heard a wise man say that recently, right? Uh, so I know he's trained great people. I had to find another place, another home where I felt empowered. I felt being taken more seriously. So I ended up finding this place called Rebel Thai Kickboxing, and
Where is it located?
so they have 2 schools. One's in Suffolk County and one's in Nassau County, New York. And
There's a lot of good training in Long Island, it sounds like.
yes, so that's where part of this story is going too. So this is where like at the moment my home base is and what I'm like focused on, and it was what got me to the point where I'm like, Mike, you're a goner, right? So imagine they hold smokers all the time, like they have a bunch of amateur champions, but imagine I call this place up. And part of this story is, yes, all these places on Long Island exist. And when I was younger, this part of the story, I did train briefly at Matt Serra's Jiu-Jitsu Academy,
Okay.
like way back in the day, and I loved it. And like that's part of like I love grappling. So part of this is I want to go back to grappling, right? But like
You're
imagine.
saying you would consider, like, even after this boxing match, to transition into MMA?
Yo, so that's part of the story. I want to fight Alana McLaughlin. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a trans woman that fought a cisgender girl like earlier this year. Not Fallon Fox, but like, yo, I have these 2 other trans women. So like one's a MMA fighter, fighting men in these tournaments. Beating beating some men up. And then there's this other one who's busy boxing and training in the kickboxing, and I think training in MMA in tournaments against men. And when this whole Caitlyn Jenner, like everything came out, they called me out, and I was like, yo,
Yo.
let's fucking do it. So part of this story is, and that's what I was saying all along. I was like, yo, we can create and that's why Damon wanted to do this. I was like, I could bring more people here, yet at the same time, I see the bigger picture of making noise in other organizations where I'd say the other two girls, like myself, know how strong we are in this, in where we are in our lives, right? And we want equal, like matchmaking so important in fighting, right? You
Very
could have
important.
two giants who are so strong, right? But one's been training for 10 years. You throw them in the ring, that's dangerous, right? So I want to fight like someone around my age, like, and all these girls are, including this Alana. Uh, and so part of the story is like, I want to inspire people like me that are a little different and make them feel like, yo,
You can get in and do the sport.
yes, right? And like there's the non-binary division now they created in like the running races, like the Boston Marathon, right? That they just created that. So I almost see like in a way a pioneer. So through this like celebrity boxing. So part of this is one of these people we're talking about having, and I mean this, this is what I'm training for. We want to have a kickboxing match, and there's this MMA organization that wants to like do it, and it would be, I think, like the first of its kind. It would be historic.
Incredible.
And part of this story is why I wanted to do this was I going to the Rebel Tie, how like I ended up there. I call this place up. So imagine I stop into like Longo MMA or
Yeah.
whatever, you know, like Weidman's camp, right? I stop
Weidman's.
Weidman, right? I'm like, I like popped in there a few times, right? They never were picking up their phone, whatever. They're all great people, and they're like, "Yo, come back," but like it was a bit more of a drive, right? I used to live like more so in those areas, and then I popped in Sarah's again recently. So here's the deal: I'm like really gonna start going to one of those, right, for the grappling. I'm talking to my old wrestling coach, his son, who was a state champ, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna train you, whatever.
Yo,
So like,
you're building a serious nucleus
here's
around
the
you.
thing. Went to the same high school as Steamroller Frivola,
Okay, Matt.
right? So like imagine like with my silly ass Instagram, right? Like, which is all because I make music, which is part of this story, right? Uh, like now, like I'll DMs a lot of these people, like Ken Shamrock, right? And I'm like talking to these people, like, yo, you want to train Cyborg's manager? Like,
Yo, why
Cyborg was
not?
like, oh, like manager's like, yo, in the future, you know, things are busy. She just won her fight, but like like, so with my
You're saying Chris Cyborg.
Chris Cyborg, right? Like,
You're saying Chris Cyborg said, "Yo, come to my camp. Let's train."
no, meaning like I'm talking to her manager about like either showing up for a training session or whatever. Who knows, right? But going back, I know like so Steamroller Favola. I know he's busy preparing for his fight.
Yeah, he's fighting November 12th at MSG.
Yes, which I'm so excited for, right? And I was gonna go in person to watch it, just because he's like a hometown hype, right? And like I just love it. Like I graduated with his sister. The down to earth killer, I would say. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like, I actually through my silly music, I'm gonna be opening for the baby, the rapper, November 12th in Austin,
Oh,
Texas.
so that's why you can't make the UFC.
Yes.
You're gonna be in Austin, Texas with
Yes.
the baby opening up for him.
Yes.
That's sick.
So this silly boxing thing, right? I called out Caitlyn Jenner and went viral on TMZ. Like I'm riding this wave of silly manifestation, which isn't silly though, right? Because here's the thing. What I've realized in life is like most people are lazy. And like maybe it's the ADHD, whatever. Like I'm always on.
I want to say something. Like I'm a true believer. When you manifest something,
Yes.
that's when it becomes real.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? You put it into your mind, and then it will come on your plate. Like no, I don't believe that anything's gonna fall from the sky. So the
Yes.
fact that you're saying you're manifesting, that's why these things are gonna happen. And it's like this momentum, and it's not really a wave. It's just momentum of you doing things and working hard
Right.
for your goals and your dreams. That this is all happening.
And and that's it, right? And like, I'm sorry, full circle, ADHD. uh, I call up Rebel Thai. Part of what inspired me in Thailand. I'm probably gonna mispronounce it. I apologize, but there's this Thai fighter, Nong Rose, and they're like, I guess what's considered a third gender over there, right? Have transitioned, right? I think she, and her, and like due to their like old customs, like, someone like her couldn't compete or whatever. But like
Professionally,
professionally, but
okay.
imagine like, I guess they wanted to fight so bad. Someone saw her like in makeup in the street fight, like beat up someone, I think using like Muay Thai. And that led to someone being like, yo, I'll train you. And imagine she like, I've seen stadiums like chanting her name and
Filled up.
yes, they changed the
This was
laws
where? This was in
in
Thailand?
Thailand.
Oh,
So
wow.
like I saw that online, and that's part of what inspired me, right? And I call this place, and there's this guy Jeff, and he's like, yo, what's up? And I'm like, yo, I'm non-binary. Da, 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 da. I'm like, I'm trying to find a place. He's like, oh my god. He's like, you should Google Nong Rose. Like
Okay.
I didn't even mention it. He's like, I'm one of her biggest fans. Meanwhile, he's training in Thailand right now, right?
Okay.
Like, it's that type of character, a great guy. But that sold me. So like, I ended up going there, and I learned there in a week more than what I learned in a lot of other places, right? And I love it. And like, so yeah, so I'm gonna be kickboxing. I am gonna manifest that. I think I'm gonna be MMA fighting, right? I would love, like, I doubt Dana White would ever create a trans division, but who knows, right? But like somewhere, I believe it, like a non-binary or a trans tournament of people like me that could just inspire kids somewhere.
I I believe it could happen. Like you said, you mentioned a lot of people.
Yeah.
But would you ever fight that Thai fighter you said
Rose.
Nung Rose?
So Nung Rose, if
Would
Nung,
you, if she's like, it's like,
yeah, would probably still beat my ass, but way lighter than me, way smaller.
oh, you're not even, the weight divisions don't even
Yes,
match.
right? So like, but I think so well trained that like probably would make me look like such a little wimp, at this point. But guess what? I've seen how much I've grown, and that's why like going back there to these two fighters that want to fight me, like they're good, right? But I'm gonna train. I'm gonna go where I want, and then we're gonna all go after Alana McLaughlin. You should look Alana up.
I will.
Who was literally, I looked up her Twitter. She's literally a week ago. This is what it says. Oh, it's like no one wants to fight anymore. Gonna start calling bitches out. Really? Right? Well, guess what? We're coming, right? So I'm gonna start with people like Mike Mazza. Then I'm gonna literally destroy like silly, unskilled, wannabe tough guy celebrities that, right? Because I know, like,
You're trying to reign in this division.
yes, right? And yo, one day, like, some people laugh, right? But this all started with an interview where I was gonna open for 6ix9ine with DJ Drewski. I was talking about like all this stuff that I planned to do, like, right?
Did you ever open up for 6ix9ine?
6ix9ine let's just say that 6ix9ine ended up in court that morning. That's part of this story. But I can't say too much, but after the baby show, uh I'm gonna stop there.
All right.
There's something being discussed, if that makes sense.
All right. Fair enough.
Because some paperwork's been signed, and
I got you. We don't
yes,
want to mess with no NDAs.
yes. But I will say this: he is a master of marketing, and the silliness of that whole event and all that led to so much, right? Where literally I was down in South by Southwest. That's where it was supposed to be, and I
Is
ended.
that Florida?
It's Texas.
Oh, Texas,
Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Awesome, like awesome week of like just concerts and like you should go down for real. It's like
Yeah,
kind of
I've
like
never been
Mardi
to
Gras.
Texas. I
It's
definitely want to
dope.
get out there.
But imagine like I had like three other shows when I was down there. That was just like an awesome experience.
This was for music.
Yeah. Uh, and that's also like that's actually where I got the call for celebrity boxing. I signed the contract with celebrity boxing while I was in Austin, Texas. Part of this story is I used to be a teacher, and I left teaching literally like that week. Uh, it was like everything has just lined up. So I feel blessed at the moment. There's a lot more to my story, but
You're
like,
just chasing your dreams.
yes, I'm chasing my
You're
dreams,
chasing your dreams.
right? And that's why, yeah, uh, yeah, yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Teacher, now into boxer, recording artist. It's a lot of talents, and you're motivated, business oriented. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
You might be the Jake Paul
Well,
of
yo,
of your division. You're running it like he's like, just a YouTuber came out promoting, and then maybe you have your own promotion.
so going back to this DJ Jersky thing, like I literally talked some hyped up stuff, right? And I think it opened up the door. I remember like us laughing. I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. You want to throw me money to take a punch in the face from someone like? But here's the thing. I respect everything Jake Paul is doing, and I'm gonna stop kind of in some way, right? But he kind of inspired some of just like a 6ix9ine, some of the marketing ideas, or like just like I studied the game and I look at these people and like, wow, if they can do it, I can do it, right? It can't be
Cool.
that hard, right? And I get to it, right? So guess what? I've often said if Jake Paul wants to go in transition, bring it on, Jake Paul. I'll beat the shit out of you, right? With Jake Alina Paul or something like that, right? But or here's the truth. Part of me I'm pretty freaking strong. I've put on some muscle. It's going back to the training. I also have like one of the best personal trainers. I have all these other like trainer friends now. Like I'm literally like I've transformed myself, and that's what I'll respect about Jake Paul in a way, right? Like he's hustling. Some shit's maybe questionable. That's why I'm. Who was I thinking I should call out? Should call out some UFC fighter myself. So just I don't know,
Who
right?
would you fight in the UFC? I mean, listen, you already give a name.
I'm trying to think of someone I was thinking earlier, right? Like an old time legend, right? Like
What weight? Tell me the weight, and then I can help you.
so here's the truth. What about like 145? I think I'm gonna cut down to 145.
Shit, we can get Frankie Edgar to come out of retirement.
No,
We
yeah.
can get Frankie Edgar, and he'll make 145, and you versus Frankie
All right, so
in AC.
I'm
He's a
down.
Jersey legend.
I'm down, but let's wait like 6 years, right? Because isn't that part of the formula of some of these guys winning these fights, right?
You're running it like boxing. We gotta
Yeah,
build up years.
yes,
We're gonna make that fight.
you
By the
know.
time we get there,
But you know what? Here's something like going back to being a little more serious. Like I like to joke around, but like part of my story of like kind of leaving the things I was doing for a bit because of like society making me think like I had to be a certain type of way. I feel like I saved years of potential damage. So like, yeah, in a way, I'm like, yes, I'm getting older, but I think I've got more years than many, right? So yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place.
no, everything's good, and it's like it's so natural, and like people really want to enjoy this story and like really get to know you.
Yes.
Because as people are gonna, as your career's gonna grow, and Mike Mazza, you're gonna knock him out and just
Yeah.
put him back on the couch with his girl and an
Yeah.
ice pack.
No, well,
You,
I don't think she'll be there after this fight, right? Yeah.
it's gonna get vicious. It sounds like you want to get in there and put a beating on him.
He's gonna get so mad, but I know that he gets mad at some of the stuff that he posted today. Like some fans are like writing some stuff to him, and he gets so serious. I love it.
Listen, this is a perfect opportunity just to test his cardio. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you, he's fighting the fridge right now.
Yeah.
That's his biggest war. The snack drawer right now.
Are you into pro wrestling at all?
So on my watch.
Yeah, what I'll give him is this. He's been Vader bombed, I think, before, which is like a legend. And but yeah, no, I'm gonna test that cardio. Not cardio. He's got none. Cardio. How cheesy is that? Um, I'm trying to think of what else you want to talk about.
Nothing. I think that was a lot of topics we covered. We're really happy to have you on the show. I want all the fans and everybody to look out for Brady Bunch, October 15th at the Showboat Arena in Atlantic City. Guys, the betting odds, always with Brady for the knockout. Notorious Radio 718 is with you. We're going to be in your corner.
Yeah.
And is there anything you want to say or thank anybody along your way
Well,
before we go?
well, I want to thank y'all for having me. It was a fun time. We got to it's fight night actually. So got to watch some of the fights for a little bit. But no, for real. I hope everyone can join me that night when I make history and get my first belt, because that's the way I'm looking at it. And one thing I'll say is, last thing, my current Jeff, he's in Thailand, right? My new coach, second in the world in kickboxing, female, so nasty.
Sick.
And so I promise you, you guys are gonna hear about me making history in quite a few things. And I want to, yeah, one day for real, I'm gonna be more famous than Tom Brady, right?
Wow.
So I hope you guys check out my music that's coming out. That's another thing. New sounds, right? I've made some EDM. I've got some like crazy silly rap, right? But the new like rap rock, which I've been working on.
Okay.
Yeah, like people dig it. It's coming. Music
Sick.
videos coming. So
Fire,
like,
fire, fire.
but yeah, I hope to be back. Maybe after I win to talk about my next fight, right?
Definitely. We'll
And
definitely have you back.
and fucking if Frankie Edgar wants to come out of retirement, or uh, I'm here for it.
We're
All
definitely
right.
going to do it. Guys, remember to always like, follow, subscribe us on all platforms. Remember, if it ain't notorious, I don't want it. Thank you so much.
Play this.